Hello, welcome back to Kaiserreich. So I am worried about all these Mexican troops on our border right now, but I also don't see any any way we could do anything about it if they decided to attack us. So I think it's kind of like, you know, if it happens, it happens. We can't really do anything about it. We can't both fight the CSA and the syndicalists in Mexico, or sorry, the totalists under Plutarco Calles. So I think we're just going to leave them and hope that nothing happens. I'm not quite sure if anything can happen. But if it does, we're fucked anyways. I'm gonna try to attack these guys because they're, or like counterattack these guys because they're all pushing in onto one spot here, which gives us an opportunity. And also, yeah, we got the planes going. We should probably reassign these guys, but I'm not quite sure where, because obviously they have fuck all in terms of range, and we have no airports over here. We might be able to build one over in Colorado. That's probably like one of the best places to build an airport in. Well, Kansas is probably the best place, but one of the best places to build an airport in Kaiserreich. In America, because of the whole lack of airports in the center of the country. Also, national focus, speaking of airports, I think we're going to go for... So this stuff, obviously important. Actually, yeah, we're going to go for the stuff that takes us to maritime industry, sorry, so that we can actually ramp up production a little bit. Because that's obviously going to, like, stack with time. But I'm also going to go for the US Air Force, like strictly because it gives us stuff like this, and it can also help slightly in the air war. We actually need both of these, so that's actually going to take a long time. I'm gonna go for this first, and then maybe build air bases, or I'll focus on this stuff depending on where we are once that's done. I'm trying again not to push too hard on this front because I do want to get an encirclement here, which is easier if the enemy here is kind of like standing here just attacking nothing, or attacking stuff that they can't break through, because we've got them. While I want to like push up here. Of course, not the easiest thing to do.
Let them have it.
Though I think they have opened themselves up to a counterattack. Right here. The moment this attack is over, I think we might be able to push in. Not with a lot of men, mind you.
Move out.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, I probably should have kept that guy attacking there so that the rest of the men can move over here. Because now we're kind of stuck here. This situation is a right just disaster because of how many of the CSA troops keep attacking from every direction. So I think we do need to try something radical and try to push over here maybe. Once these guys fail and their assault over here, because they're attacking across the river with only like 3 divisions, we're going to try to these guys are also attacking. We're going to try to just counterattack these guys immediately. Have a look at supplies. We're losing heavy tanks. We're gaining light tanks, so I might be able to do something interesting here. That's armored cavalry, which we don't have at the moment, but we've got heavy cavalry, which is might be able to do something like this, which is kind of a waste, honestly, but it's going to cut down on the amount of supplies we need of either type of tank. Oh, what the fuck? Never mind. That's gonna fuck everything up, so you know what I'm gonna do?
Keep moving.
That apparently changing that template just completely ruins it and removes all the infantry, so I'm just going to do the cheap thing and swap to armored cavalry, because we do have plenty of light tanks available.
Keep moving.
So this one is going to now be kind of messed up because you need to like reinforce, and then we're going to change this template a bit. We're going to keep them on heavy tanks, I think, but we're going to remove one heavy tank and we're going to fill up with infantry again. Thank you. And they're not going to be called heavy cavalry, they're going to be called, let's call them a shock division, because that's technically what they are, kind of. With the idea being just a bunch of firepower and some hardness. I'll try to maybe create some self-propelled guns. I don't know if we can make like massive self-propelled guns for them. That'll be kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't want to do too many heavy tanks there, because heavy tanks are very expensive to build. And now, of course, we need more of these. And more of these. Of course, still, guns are the priority. We're almost at the production efficiency limit, which still has not put us above, or put us at a surplus, or even like a neutral production, or production slash consumption number. Wonder if, so it seems as if this line over here, which is, I think this, yeah, this line, they're not actually, yeah, we gotta get rid of all this stuff. They're not actually being that, or being assaulted too much, so I might be able to, well, hold on, I might be able to extend this and then retract the militia, because I believe the State Guard have what I would call terrible designs. Actually, no, they're infantry though, and the Pacific Militia are, they're militia. So I think actually, yeah, we're gonna do the reverse of what I actually, oh fucking hell, of what I actually intended to do. We're going to take this and drag it a bit up here in order to sort of group and coalesce our troops. There's another word for it, regroup. No, it's not it. There's a word for it that I, in the past few episodes, have kept forgetting, where you you focus your troops in one place essentially and try to enact any sort of change in the strategic situation in that way. Continue the truce. Yes, let us continue the truce. Huey Long is not going to betray us. If he does, he's a fucking idiot. The only way, or the only chance he has of winning is if he stays loyal to the truce. There's literally no other way he can win. Honestly, he can't even like... Oh, this, we might be able to do something here. But yeah, he can't even like get a basically the only way he like stays alive is through a truce. Like, not even winning. All he has to like think about is just not getting killed at this point. How's this going then? No, not everything is activated, but not everything has the range, I guess. The scout fleet is not active, but they are, or they're meant to be active, but they're repairing. Battle fleet here, they could be active. Okay, let's assign them, and let's set them to be a strike force, just so that they can respond to, oh actually let's pull these guys off as well, so they can respond to you know, any spotted threats here. So at the moment I feel like, why are they, oh yeah, of course that's why they're not reinforcing. I feel like yeah, they were in the wrong theater. I feel like like we're spotting stuff, but I'm not seeing anything getting killed or any fights happening. So I think we gotta get more, like a wider net, basically. We gotta get more stuff out there to fight. And this guy, we were gonna set him to the scout, I think. Patrol Detachment 1 is, yeah, they're repairing, so I'm gonna put them in Patrol Detachment 2. Because the Patrol Detachment does join in on the fight, I believe, after they've spotted the enemy. We've got no foci for the guns, so we'll just research it. Even though we're gonna need to start a new production line, which does hurt. It's gonna take a long time before that actually becomes like, or gets up to speed and becomes fully efficient and stuff. Okay, if this attack here stops, then yeah, I think we should do this. Slightly risky. I'm gonna keep these guys in reserve. I'm gonna stop this attack so these guys can help on that on attacking that tile there, so that the cavalry here can move off and stop being, you know, harassed by these guys and possibly take this tile and get an encirclement here. It's not gonna be as big as the encirclement I had hoped for, but at least it's something. Also, we're getting a lot of manpower actually because of the reincorporation of some territory. So we should start up the training, or the recruitment and training of some new troops again. And we'll train them somewhere like Denver.
Attention. Listen up. Ready.
Oh, this is working. For now, at least. Now I just need this to work. Okay, we've done the US Air Force. Now, Screaming Eagles, not necessary because we don't have airports to actually do anything interesting with any paratroopers anyways, and we'd need to train them as well. But air bases, I think, it only builds them in Oregon and San Francisco, which are not the places where we might necessarily need them, or might need them right now necessarily. Interesting, we can get women pilots and women in the Navy, but I don't see anything about women in the Army. Huh. I think we might also go with strategic destruction just because we get the twice or the double 100% bonus there instead of the 100% bonus. This does give us bonuses for more plane models though, so that's the trade-off. And this gives more air bases, but I think one of the following, yes, it just needs one of those, so it's fine. You know, whichever one you pick, we just get like air support and bombers, or air supremacy and fighters. Fuck it, let us go for the maritime industry one, because it's gonna, again, have a deeper impact over a longer period of time. Reduce the amount of dockyards on the convoys, and that should be good. As we are losing submarines here to something. I'm not seeing a lot of reports. Oh, there we go, there's one. It does look like they're shipping stuff from, like, out here. Colombia and Bolivia cancels Lend-Lease. Fine. We'll manage. There's a ton of places where I can actually get, where I can win battles,
Let's go.
but that's also like not necessarily what I'm going for half the time here. I'm always trying to get the encirclements because that's the best way to just straight up delete divisions from the enemy's army, and that's what I'm looking to do. We gotta diminish their like force, or the asymmetry, or we gotta diminish their overall supremacy when it comes to the number of units on the field, because otherwise we can't win.
Ready to move.
I think this is probably the best. Yeah, this is the best call right now. Move as much in as possible. Try to take this, and then get like 8 divisions encircled there.
All in.
Now we gotta kill this so we can move these troops off of this line and have them put elsewhere on the line. There we go. That frees up a bunch of troops, which is awesome. Let's send them up north. We gotta get people on this battle here.
All in.
Incredibly important.
Move out. Let them have it. Attention. Commands. Commands.
Still holding against attacks from every single angle here. I'm not very keen on the idea of counterattacking or anything until they're actually low. Cancelling the land this because we're now at an extreme positive when it comes to gun production, so we're actually going to switch this line over towards the Thompson when it's done. And the only thing we're like, okay, yeah, that one then suddenly lost a bunch, but that's fine. We are at the very least at 13,000 in surplus, so it's going to take a while before like any sort of immediate threat to our stockpile like becomes acute, I guess.
Ready to move. Listen up.
Such a shit tile to attack into, because you can basically only attack from 2 different directions at the moment. We could attack from 3 if these guys were freed up, but there's a bulge here, which means that they're getting attacked from every single direction that they can get attacked from.
Taking aim. All in.
Albania declared war on Bulgaria. Wars in the Balkans, who would have thought? Yeah, Florida's falling. Very much predictable. Continue the truce. There probably will come a moment where the truce is no longer beneficial to us, but actually no, there won't. Because Huey Long has a bunch of his troops on our line here, so there will actually never come a point where it's not beneficial. If we break the truce, we're gonna have to fight him in our own territory here, I think. So, breaking the truce is actually probably the dumbest thing we can do. Yeah, do another push. We have enough political power saved up to do an increase in conscription. So, basically, I want to have 150 at all times, so we can. Or how much is it? 100 at all times, so we can swap to all adults serve if need be. So we now have 300 to play with. And I think with that, we're going to probably look at changing some ministers around, because, for example, we don't need any of this. This minister here is bad. Game's frozen for a bit. Hold on. I think something big might be happening. Hue Long might have capitulated. Game is like straight up frozen. Even got the, you know, spinny Windows thing come up there. Yeah, I'm thinking exchange some of these ministers for ministers that might give increased recruitable population factor and stuff like I'm not sure if there are ministers that give straight up like attack modifiers. Those are probably the military staff, but there should be some here that give some recruitment bonuses and stuff. Oh no, never mind. Whoa, what the fuck? I wasn't even looking at this shit. That's why it took so long. What the fuck? Yo, what? Why though? Why are you though? Why are you? I'm gonna download that mod and or the state transfer tool and give that back to Germany so they can do something proper with this, but I mean, unpause, I want to see what happens with this shit. He already did his focus to attack Russia, didn't he? Okay, now they're releasing nations, so it's lagging again. Yeah, he did the attack on the Russians, right? Well, he could do strike at the AOG, which brings him into war with Germans again. Because I'm thinking now that he's already technically defeated Russia, he can't declare war on Germany for it again. Actually, I don't see anything here that has to do with Russia. I think he just might have gotten an event or something. I don't know. Either way, that's fucking crazy. Okay, so okay, never mind. That actually makes a lot of sense. So the Germans have set up. Well, this one doesn't make a lot of sense, but the Germans have set up the Transamur Republic as like a puppet government here. Oh, sorry, like a buffer zone. This stuff is just because of the way the territory works. It isn't necessarily actually territory, but it just goes to whoever holds the border to it or something. So this went to Transamur, but this kind of makes sense, I guess. Having like a neutral, or quote-unquote neutral, like a puppet in between you and your enemy. Kind of like how with China and how they wanted North Korea between South Korea and, you know, NATO and the West. And, you know, of course, between them. Or like, between them and NATO is what I mean. Words are hard, dude. Yeah, this is fucking crazy, and nothing really is happening here. But it's probably going to now that the Germans can focus a bit more. Like, this is straight up some like Weltkrieg 1 shit. Like, we own some Weltkrieg 1 shit right now. Union of Iceland has joined the Third International. Well, hello there, Brynjolfur Bjarnason. Liberty ships. Done. Let's go for submarine deployment. In Sol India declared war on the Dutch Indies, so we've got native uprising, nationalist uprising, probably, against the Dutch colonialists. Fucking wild how the Great Khan owns all of this. That's very, very bad. Oh my god, we did it. We didn't get as many divisions as I wanted in the encirclement, but something is better than nothing. Let's see if we can do something up here. This is kind of what I love about Kaiserreich. It just sometimes goes fucking weird as hell. Well, most of the time it does, honestly. Like this, you can see the Reichspakt here owning so much of Europe, and then the Third International kind of now, I think, are in a very, very tough spot. But you know, at least they got Iceland, and then you've got the Donau-Adria-Bund fighting what seems like Bulgaria. Yeah, exclusively Bulgaria, I think. Which might lead to the Donau-Adria-Bund owning most of the Balkans by the end of it. The Dutch in the Reichspakt as well. Or are they not? No, the Dutch East Indies are, but not the Batavian Commune, of course, because the Batavian Commune rose up. But the Batavian Commune are not in the alliance with the rest of the totalists. So this fucking he's got a weird look to him. But this dude is not I guess it might be a strategic, like, realpolitical move to not ally with the Third International just to protect the Netherlands from, well, from Germany, who I imagine would not hesitate to invade should he show any sign of aligning with the International. I'm surprised they haven't already, honestly. Probably should have started these guys out a bit before we attacked, but I just want to get men on the, you know, the real line, the proper line. This is fucked up. Comfortable done. Let's get all these guys on this line, and just trust that Huey Long can handle this, hopefully, I don't know. And if not, we will have some troops freed up that we can assign to that, like a second front line there. Problem is, if we have split front lines, the AI starts to, like, figure out itself how many it wants on each side, and that gets really messy really fast, because it can decide that it needs, like, 19 troops over here, and then, like, 2 troops there. And suddenly the problem was fixed. Okay, it should be collapsing fully soon. There we go. No, never mind. There we go. Now let's get all these guys back on the line. Let's drag the line down a bit, because we don't need it to be this long. We've got plenty of good troops up here holding the longer line there. Honestly, we can actually, since these are straight up, yeah, these are straight up infantry divisions, so we can actually pull them down even further and then extend this, because these guys are weaker, but there's so many of them, they make up for it. And the State Guard are fully fledged troops as well, even though they are receiving, like, they're not as well equipped as the others, but they are also receiving less equipment. Basically, all those deficiencies together will basically make for one fully fledged army, similar to the army we've got here. Is my thinking, at least. So once we take this, I think we can actually do something funky here now. Because they're not attacking this, and I hope they will never will. If they don't, we can do something extremely funky. Such as taking... Where are the green guys going? Such as taking this tile from different directions. Yeah, like stuff actually kind of worked out. We got a couple of divisions encircled. We didn't get the major one that I wanted. The one that might have been able to tip the scales to a straight up equal. I'm gonna go with actually I'm not quite sure which one I'm gonna go with, because this stuff gives us the huge population stuff, right? Oh, game's lagging a bit. Someone is capitulating. I think, maybe. You can research down the other path again, so... And like lock yourself out of the bonuses, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're at the end of the video anyways, so I can actually leave that up to you. Should we go with the Desperate Defense, aka the Volksturm, or the Modern Blitzkrieg? Which gives us a bunch of cool bonuses for infantry and motorized and mechanized, as well as the backhand blow, the you know, the Schlieffen kind of thing idea, as well as Modern Blitzkrieg here for tanks. Or should we go with the stuff that gives us just major population boons, which we're going to need because we're not, you know, operating with the largest of armies at the moment, or the largest of populations when it comes to, well, recruitable population, that is. We've got like 300,000, and I'm guessing Jack Reed has something like 2 million. I was wrong. That can't be right. Or he's only at extensive, but still. So, I'll leave that question up to you guys in the comments. My, what did you call them? Like, my extended general staff? Someone called them, called the comments my, like, my... What? What? How does it happen that fast? He just fucking shoot himself or something. Did Ungen Khan fall off his horse and drown in a puddle? How did that happen that fast? That is insane. He took all this territory and then Japan just killed him in like a month or two. What? Okay, well, anyways, this world is fucking weird. Or this timeline, rather. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you can reach me on, well, Twitch. Very important, because I'm going to start uploading some Twitch VODs to YouTube, where I'm playing the Vatican state, the Papal state, and we're trying to do something interesting. We're going down the Senate of the Roman, or Kingdom of Rome, and going down the, like, Republic/constitutional monarchy path for Rome, which gives us some like weird and funny stuff, like, you know, setting up military legions in the style of the Roman Empire, or the Roman Republic rather. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. And I'm going to be uploading the VODs to YouTube, but you should, if you want to catch them immediately when they're recorded, aka streamed live, you should follow me on Twitch, which you can do by following the link in the description down below. Also, Discord has been really active as of late. Ton of good discussion, ton of good like sharing of vacation pictures and sharing of art and stuff that people have made. Really cool. You should definitely check that out. The Discord link is also in the description, and of course, if you want to support me on Patreon, or if you want to follow me on Twitter, the links are also in the description. And that is about it. Thank you again so much for watching, and someone please explain what the fuck this is about. But dude, I was so focused on this stuff, I didn't even notice that Ungen Khan somehow got yeeted off the face of the earth in like a week. Thanks for watching, goodbye.